Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all and welcome to AABN's 115th weekly webinar. In today's webinar, I recognize some familiar names of participants from major groups. I'm sure we are all also reaching out to many new friends, entrepreneurs, technocrats, innovators, business professionals, etc. A warm welcome to you all. At AABN, we all understand the importance of technology and innovation in our day-to-day lives and the ways in which they are transforming the world. If this was not clear earlier, it is blindingly obvious now in the time of the pandemic. Technology and innovation are indispensable for our response to and recovery from this crisis. Equally important is our collaboration in this great effort. For today's webinar, we have an awesome speaker with rich experience to share his thoughts on keys to future businesses, innovation, automation, and patent process. Let me extend a very warm welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. Thirumalai llango, to this interactive business networking session. The festivities will provide a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with fellow alumnus and industry experts and explore the ways in which AABN continues to shape an exciting environment. As we move forward with strategic plans to ensure AABN future, we will continue to invest in the vast potential inherent in collaboration among individuals of varying backgrounds, perspectives, and expertise. At AABN, we have fun and take some pearls of knowledge from the fellow members. Who knows what else we can accomplish through this special network. Recent changes in innovation development are related to the new technological revolution, Industry 4.0, pandemic, economic crisis, and new legislation. Provide new opportunities for the improvement, innovative technologies, improve the processes of business analysis and forecasting, as well as new product development. Innovation is about taking an idea to a commercialized product process of service. At various stages throughout the processes, decision needs to be made. A very important resource to enable those decisions to be made is information. Part of the information resource is the information contained in patents. The patent practice itself is a very old service industry. It's very old practice that we are doing from the time when the concept of invention was coined. There was a protection system in place in different jurisdictions across the world. The webinar will explain the various stages in the innovation process and how patent information can assist the decision-making process in going from one stage to the other to successful commercialization and beyond. I have the pleasant duty of welcoming and introducing Mr. Thirumalai llango, our eminent guest speaker, to you. Mr. Thirumalai llango hails from Sulur in Coimbatore. He has a BTech degree in mining engineering from IIT Banaras Hindu University campus, Varanasi, and pursued his master's in industrial systems engineering from the University of Illinois, Chicago. He also has a master's degree in management from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Notably, his entire education was on scholarship. Started his career with AT&T in 1987. He was senior technical director in AT&T, which was always motivated to discover something new all the time. His efforts were successful, and he has 18 patents to his credit in the field of telephony, internet, computer, software, etc. After a long stint with AT&T, he returned to his hometown on health grounds. He always wanted to inspire the youth of India and wanted to make them innovative, creative in the field of science and technology. He has conducted workshops at IIT, Mumbai and Varanasi, Tata Motors, etc. He helps coaching the financially underprivileged children to pursue careers in science and technology. His success was built around his hard work, sincerity, and honesty. He is willing to guide people seeking to register the patents. His hobbies included writing poetry, movie scripts, traveling. This webinar is particularly relevant to SME and entrepreneurs involved in new product or process development. I believe that by participating in this webinar, we are in the right place and at the right time. Together, let us accelerate the exchange of ideas and scaling up of good practices. I'm confident that you will find new ideas, fresh energy, and novel partnership to sustain your efforts. My sincere thanks to the core committee team for their untiring efforts to get this webinar going. Thank you all and enjoy the session. Over to you, Mr. Thirumalai.
Mr. Gopal.
I see that you have two open, Mr. Llango. So that is why you're getting that echo. either you mute one of them or probably disconnect one of those connections. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Clear, sir. Now it's clear, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the generous and warm welcome. Really excited to be here to address my fellow engineers and fellow Indians on innovation, automation, and patents. This is going to be the future of science and technology. And I feel very privileged to share my more than 25 years of experience at the world's largest R&D center, AT&T Bell Labs, that has produced 7 Nobel laureates and averages about 1 patent every day. So it's a privilege to share that rich knowledge of innovations and patents with an august gathering like you. Next slide, please. Okay. So let me briefly give an example of the type of environment that I worked for more than 25 years. AT&T Bell Labs has produced 8 Nobel laureates for work completed at AT&T Bell Labs. It averages about 1 patent every day. The most famous patent deployed by AT&T is the what is it called Narendra Karmakar algorithm. This is widely used by AT&T and has earned millions of dollars for AT&T. Briefly, the algorithm deals with the methodology and the technology to route telephonic calls over the network so that it reaches the destination with the least number of steps or hops. Now, the top 10 innovations of AT&T Bell Labs: data networking, cellular telephony, laser, communication satellites, Unix open system, C++, S language, the transistor, solar cells, digital transmission, touchtone telephony, and DSP signal processing in telecom. As you can see from the list, almost every technology that we use today has been developed based on Bell Labs patents. And if you look a little deeper to see what led to AT&T Bell Labs forming such a formidable technology manpower, we'll go to the next slide. So the basic innovation structure at AT&T is there's a multidisciplinary R&D team that has many PhDs and masters from many science and engineering disciplines working together. A budget of about 2% of the previous profits is set aside for R&D. The focus is on long-term innovation, products and ideas. And this team gets sponsorship from various government, defense, and internal AT&T divisions to address innovation, solutions, and business. They don't have any rigid target dates. The teams are left free to innovate on new ideas. The teams are encouraged to think on out-of-the-box ideas. Seed funding is provided to fund and develop prototypes. The team looks at actual production outages that happen, look at high cost of process and products. They look at customer feedback and long cycle times and try to solve these problems as to why there's long cycle time or why the cost is high or why there's a production outage happening. They closely follow and track various technology, process automation, the industry and business trends, and also look at competitors and rivals for what they are doing in order to be one step ahead of the time. The conduct was called best-in-class information sharing and exchange sessions with leading companies in cross-domain industries. Next slide, please. Now let's look at some of the companies that have perished due to lack of for long-term planning and lack of innovation and being too late to enter the innovation field. Everybody knows about in the 70s and 60s where we grew up, Kodak was the number one camera company and the photo company. All films were developed by Kodak using what we call analog cameras, and they had the major market share in the business of photography. Now, Kodak had actually developed the digital camera for NASA, but they kept it under wraps in order to maintain their competitive advantage, not share the digital photography technology with the rest of the world. So Kodak was very surprised with digital photography once it came out of the companies from Japan. Too late, Kodak began to focus on digital photography and digital printing. By the time the Japanese photo companies had taken a big lead and a big market share in the photography business. So it's a Kodak moment was a tagline that was a common lexicon to describe a personal event. But ultimately, Kodak had to file for bankruptcy because they lost the market share and they were too late to deploy innovative products and innovative technology. So this can happen to a leading company like Kodak that dominated the photography business in the 70s and 80s. Next slide, please. Now, if you have watched the mobile phone manufacturers battle over the last 2-3 decades, there's been multiple technology wars and patent lawsuits between Apple, who produced the iPhone, LG, Nokia, and Samsung, who kind of also got into the phone device manufacturing business. There was a lot of patents on, Apple has more than 200 patents on the technology behind the iPhone, and LG Electronics, Nokia, and Samsung had similar technologies and similar patents on some of the latest mobile phone technologies used. So there was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit between Apple and LG, Nokia, and Samsung. And basically, this illustrates the need for having intellectual property rights and to have patents on your technology and your products so that you can have a competitive advantage and not let competitors leapfrog you and gain market share. So these examples illustrate the importance of having filed for the patents at the right time for the right technology. Next slide, please. Next slide. Gopi, you can go to the next slide. Hello? Gopi, next slide.
Shini?
Okay. Okay. This is a personal example of how every day something that happens in everyday life in front of you misses the boat when it comes to patenting ideas and patenting products. Patents is as simple as bread and butter. Here's a true story. As a father, I used to pack lunch for my kids, Tara and Rahul. For more than 10 years, I did this on a daily basis to accommodate the personal wishes on how they wanted their sandwiches and lunches packed. The simple lunch was toasted bread with butter, apple jelly, or cheese, and then with the fruit and the orange juice packet. But they wanted their bread to be done certain requirements, and that was they didn't like the brown toasted outer edge of the bread. So I had to toast the bread, cut out the outer layer of the brown toasted part, and just pack the white inner layer of the bread. And I did this for more than 10 years, almost every day of their school life. I used to do this, and it was a routine for me. It was happening right in front of my eyes. I never even once during that 10 years thought how important it is to patent a bread with the outer crust uh, removed. It was a big surprise to me when a leading burger company bought the patent right for crustless bread for millions of dollars. If I had done this at the right time, I would have been a multimillionaire now. And this was the idea that was happening right in front of my eyes, right in front of my hands for more than 10 years. So don't let any opportunity slip by. Always look out for patentable ideas. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, where does India rank in the Global Innovation Index? Okay. As you can see, India ranks 79th in the Innovation Index. I read a report recently that they've climbed up about 10, 15 points, and they are close to 55th on the Global Innovation Index ranking. So our aspiration is to be in the top 25 in the innovation ranking. And India about 5 years ago had about 16,000 patents. And recently the number of patents have climbed up to 85,000. And there's been a strong push by the central government and the various industry leading players in order to focus on patents and innovation. And also a lot of the multinational global companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc., have set up R&D facilities in India. And as we start to emulate technology process of these multinational companies, the number of patent filings have grown up. Next slide, please. Oh, I told you that we had made a jump. So now India is from the 79th position, we have come to the 40th position in the Global Innovation Index. And this is really good news. Next slide. So if you have looked at the newspapers, there's a lot of news regarding patents and how it impacts India. Now, a USA company has patented turmeric-based technology to kill cancer cells. Now, turmeric is a spice that we've used for ages. Our grandmothers and grandparents have used the simple turmeric or manjapodi for everything from all our cooking to whenever one gets a cough and cold, they have heated milk with turmeric and black pepper. And this is a technology that we have had for ages. But it really pains me a lot to see that a US company is patenting turmeric for cancer prevention and so on. Similarly, there's a US patent for anti-cancer and biotic infection medicines from cow urine. Even if you go to villages today, grandmas or elderly persons would sprinkle cow urine into your rice, saying it's good for your eyesight. We used to think of all this as mumbo jumbo and non-scientific principles, but here is proof that a US company is patenting cow urine for its medicines and drugs. Now, TCS, Wipro, and Reliance are among the top filers for patents in the USA. When our multinational companies are filed for multiple patents from their headquarters in foreign soil, I don't know why we're lagging behind in filing for patents when we are in India. The Kerala temple filed a patent for its temple prasadams. Things like the Palani Panjamurdam or the Thirumalai prasadam have all applied for patents because not only they have a unique product, but they have a medicinal benefit and health benefits. So one of Prime Minister Modi's call at the Indian Science Conference recently was innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. And this is a message we need to drill to all our engineers and entrepreneurs. Next slide, please. Now, there's been some interesting product developments. Somebody has filed a patent for an automated dosa maker using 3D printing technology. Basically, you pour the dosa batter into a container shaped like a printer cartridge and as input. And when you turn on the 3D printer as output, just as a printout of paper comes, we have printout of paper dosas coming out. So this is a very, very innovative and very useful product that helps each one of us. I have a video on this. If I have time, I'll show it. Otherwise, those interested can contact me via email. It's very interesting to see this product. Now, Mahindra and Mahindra, who manufacture the Scorpio and SUV, they have amazing robotic technology. You see the manufacturing floor that has been automated using the robotics. It's really amazing. You wouldn't believe that such a robotic setup exists in India. It looks like something out of Japan or Germany. It's very impressive. And again, I have a video on this, but I don't know if we'll have time to see this, but you can contact me offline to see this. There was an idea of building low-cost housing using the 8-foot diameter, the drainage concrete pipes that are being installed on all major roads and stuff. So all these drainage pipes, people live on them as homeless people. But somebody got an idea. We have a structure in place. Why don't we convert this drainage concrete pipe into a housing using some products? So they actually converted these drainage pipes into a house, a makeshift house, using dry walls and information. Again, a video exists on this that I can share with interested parties. Now, there's been technology being used using artificial intelligence and sensor technology to install sensors in cricket bats to study the batting techniques, the scoring techniques, and so on. So many innovations are happening even in the field of cricket, where sensors are being installed in in cricket bats and cricket balls. We followed the World Cup soccer last year. Every soccer ball used the World Cup match had a built-in sensor, and that sensor, using artificial intelligence technology, would give information to the on-field umpire and the TV umpire on whether the football was offline, online, or if it had passed the goal. So whenever there was any contestant on offline, online, and those kind of disputes, and if the ball had passed the goal line, these sensors would, technology behind that would help the on-field and off-field umpires to decide on the result. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of manufacturing superpower, here are some of the top 10 countries, and we see China and United States leading the way. India somewhere in the middle with about 3% of the market, and UK and Mexico are kind of the bottom countries in the top 10. Next slide. Now this gives an idea of by region which geographical areas have the maximum innovation in their economies. I'm not going to go over it, but the first one, as anticipated, is the United States. Second one is Europe, and third one is Japan. India and China are number 4 in the list. Far East and Africa are far behind. Next slide, please. Now, artificial intelligence usage today and usage in the future. Again, China and Germany lead the way, and I don't think India is even on this list of the top 8 countries using artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will be the next big technology that is going to transform our lives, whether we like it or not. Next slide, please. Now, here are some of the ideas that I'm working on and trying to patent these ideas. So, this is in disaster recovery, how we can use technology to rescue men and women trapped in a building fire is a scenario. So suppose, instead of explaining the steps, let me go to the next slide where I describe this in a graphical form. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So here we have cloud-based technology. We have middleware-based technology and end user. The end users are using video cab, Wi-Fi enabled helmets that give them instructions and real-time video and audio information on how to tackle the fire and how to rescue people. And this information, the video cam used by the firefighters as they go in, and even before they go in, drones are sent to capture the actual environment. This information is sent to the cloud, whereby using big data, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, animation, and so on. All these technologies, there's a panel of experts that come up with the process, and this information is sent to the fire station, who in turn customize the instruction to the on-field firefighters. And these firefighters use modern technology to kind of rescue people trapped in a fire and rescue these people. The same technology can be used in multiple other industries, and this is one of my projects that is in progress. Next slide, please. So as I said, this can be used in disaster recovery, can also be used in sports training. For example, for car racing, we get real-time feed of the traffic, the car condition, and so on. We can send real-time information to the car drivers on changes and modifications they need to do to win the race. And another area where this technology will be applied is industrial training, and women's safety. Next slide, please. Some of the innovative companies where a lot of innovation is being done: Amazon, Flipkart, Uber. Next slide. Now, these are innovative web-based companies who have used technology for their advantage to capture the market share. Ola, Swiggy, Oyo, and nobroker.com. Girish Mathabhumi founded the Freshworks, which is a $3 billion company, and he started from scratch. So this was Freshworks' company. Next slide. Okay. Now I'm very excited to share some of the information I've done with high school students in Karur. There's a very active science department there that encourages their high school students to do creative and innovative projects. I'd like to share two of the projects that really impressed me, and I've been involved in them to give them mentoring support and product help and advising and mentoring for those kids. One of the projects that really helped me was throw out plastic straws and use coconut leaves as plastic to replace plastic straws. And this is a team that was in charge of doing this project from Shankara Vidyalaya, Karur. So thanks to them for using their product slides in my presentation. Next slide, please. So basically, each straw you see here is rolled from a coconut leaf, and this was all manually done. Once you roll the straw, the leaves of the coconut tree as a straw, you let it, it's about 20 centimeters in length, about 0.6 centimeters in diameter, tie it with the thread, and you just keep it in room temperature for a day or two. It dries out and it becomes a perfect straw. In 12 hours, the straws are stiff enough to drink beverages, even after you take out the thread. So this process can be manufactured, automated. There's a big market to replace all of the plastic straws in the industry using dried coconut leaves. We have an abundance of coconut trees and coconut leaves. And this is something that we can leverage to make the environment much greener, to get rid of plastic, and also make it into a rural-based, self-sufficient employment opportunity for our people in the rural villages, farmers and women. Next slide. Now here's another interesting project that impressed me: how to solve human-elephant contact. This was also done by the students of Shankara Vidyalaya High School in Karur. Next slide. Now, what the student decided or found out was that to solve the problem of elephants coming into the human habitation areas and creating havoc in destroying farms and agricultural property, they found that elephants are afraid of the buzzing sound caused by honeybees. So they actually developed microphone speakers that generate the sound of honeybees using motion detection sensor. So whenever an elephant is detected, they play, it triggers the playing of sound of honeybees buzzing around them. And the elephants are kind of afraid of the honeybees and they go back to their natural habitats. So this is a very interesting project. Next slide. So as I said before, the previous slide I've kind of modified to focus how that product and the same technology can be used to enhance women's safety and make lives much more secure and safer for women using Wi-Fi camera that is built in either on hairbands or as in pendants and chains they wear. We can use the similar technology to notify the police department whenever women are placed in a high-risk environment and their life is under threat, using voice-enabled technology and using mini cameras built into the headbands and pendants. We could enhance women's safety. Next slide. Okay, I don't have time to go through a lot of these slides, so I'll kind of rush through them. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. Now, the government of Karnataka this week has called for innovative ideas and innovators, and they're prepared to provide seed funding for innovators who have credible white paper and prototypes on ideas that can be developed into real products. This was in the advertised in the Hindu last week. And next slide. And Government of India also has an advertisement in Hindu. This also was in the papers last week. And this more in the terms of biotechnology and pharmaceuticals. But I'm sure some of us probably know people in those industries that we can share with. Next slide. Now I have a separate package on Industry 4.0 that deals with automation and future trends in the field of industrial automation. And this itself is a 1 or 2 hour package. I'll just give a teaser of a trailer of what that is. This is developed by Anbujalian Ninjalian, who's GM operations of Caterpillar. And you really listen to his talk because this whole talk is in pure Tamil. And for students who came out of Tamil medium, it's very enlightening to hear a technical talk in Tamil. Next slide. And I think that's going to be the last slide. So these are the future technological drivers for Industry 4.0, augmented reality, system integration, cloud computing, big data, IoT, 3D printing, cybersecurity, autonomous robots, and simulation. And I can spend 15 minutes on each one of these items, and that's something for a future talk. Next slide. I think this is the last slide. Education is the most powerful weapon we have that we can use to change the world. And innovation patents are tools in those weapons that can drive us to change the world. So if any of you have any ideas you want to patent or any innovations you want to discuss, you can reach me off my, you can, Gopi, you can probably pass on my email contact information to the audience. They can reach
Sure,
out to us. It's been a great privilege to meet you. I wish I could do it eye to eye and in person and live, but we'll do it in a future time. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Gopi.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Nice session, Mr. Thirumalai. We'll
Thank
just keep
you.
the floor for questions now. So participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions. Mr. Kabir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for the session and the opportunity. And the session was very interesting. I have around 70 ideas to get patented, which will be and which I documented in a couple of years. So to coming to the trademark, I'm familiar how to apply, how to get it done. On the patent, coming to the patent, what are the basic steps I need to do to file actually the patent, and how it will get validated? It means how long it will get validated, and it will be in what duration it will get allocated. Main thing is what are the documentation do I need to do, or on the first initial submission itself, do I need to submit the prototype of functioning of the patent? So these are the basic questions I have. If you clarify, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I think each question has like a 2-3 hour answer, so I cannot talk a lot, but what I would say is to document your product, try to develop a working prototype that would enable you to speed up the process. The government has made the patent application process much simpler than what it used to be before. They're trying to simplify it. There's the cost to file patents also has come down in recent times. But even then, it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months from the time you submit your ideas to hear back from the patents to see if the idea is viable and it's patentable. And once the viability test is passed, it takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years after that to get your patent. So patent's not an instantaneous thing. It takes anywhere from 2 to 3 years from the time you file the patent. And it costs anywhere from 20,000 rupees to 40,000-50,000 rupees to file a patent. So it's not something that common man can afford. But if the company you work in, the business concern has an interest in filing this patent, the company can spend for that out of their budget. Next question.
Sir, actually, sorry. The clarity actually on only one part. While filing the patent, do we need to submit the prototype or only the documentation part?
At the initial filing, only the white paper description is enough. The prototype may or may not be submitted, as long as the technology is explained in clear terms that the lawyers can understand that the technology you're filing for patent is very unique and it's customizable. Nobody has done that before. That can be explained. Prototype is not needed. Though a prototype will help speed up the process.
Thank you, sir.
Next question, please.
Sir, my name is Vishwanath. I run an industry manufacturing FRP storage tanks for all kind of application. About 3 years back, we had a visitor from Israel, a professor, and upon her suggestion, we developed the bioseptic tank, the 5-compartment bioseptic tank with large surface area, etc. And it has been a runaway success. We are doing very well, but we don't have a patent. Like that, I have many ideas. Now, I have a few questions. Question is patent to protect the product or to advertise the product? Because you say it's a US patented, seems to add a lot of credibility. And this is question number one. Second, there is a person who does patenting for many colleges, because I believe if the colleges put in the brochure that we have patented products, I mean, it gets more footfall and more revenue for them. They are using this patent to actually get more fees for at the time, I mean, or more admissions. So this man makes a frequent trip to Calcutta, and I mean, his ideas, but he makes it appear as if it is a college's ideas for which he gets paid by the college, and he files. And he says a lot of grease money has to be paid in Calcutta because to speed up the process. And I mean, these are so this is question two. I mean, is it true? How do you handle it? The third is we are busy running day-to-day operations. As much as I would like to innovate, I got about 10-15 products to innovate. Most of my time gets sucked up in being a small company. We get sucked up in the day-to-day activity, labor, this, that, and all that. Do they have professional people with whom, like consultants, who can prepare the documentation and things like that? Or will you help? Where are you put up, sir? You are in Chennai or Coimbatore, or where are you put up? How do we meet you face to face if you want? Thank you.
I'm based in Coimbatore and I'm available to meet. I can help you put in touch with the right consultants and patent officers who can help you file for your patent. As a small business owner, I understand your commitments and your focus on getting the job done with the current products and so on. But patent is actually something that you file to protect your technology, and patent can also be leveraged to increase your business, to increase your revenue for businesses, and to increase college admissions for college students and so on. Now, I do know there are many gray matter people that you talked about who use the patent process to extract money and to cheat people, and you have to pay them grease fees. And I don't support any of that. The government has made it much simple to file your own patents online. So provided the documentation is clear and your technology and your process clearly explained, there is no reason to bribe anybody to file for patents. And you can get in touch with me offline. I can share my experience with you. But ultimately, you file patents, protect your technology so that competitors cannot use the technology to get ahead of you. For example, you spoke about biosafety, storage pits, and so on. It's a very important technology, and you don't want a Chinese made company producing that at a cheaper rate and getting ahead of you in market share. So to prevent that.
Where are you located, sir? Sulur, sir?
Now I'm based in Coimbatore, in the proper town.
Okay.
Near Sababa Colony, Coimbatore.
Okay, sir. I will take your call. This email TI12345. That is the email I could connect with you.
Yeah, Vichu. TI,
Okay.
yeah, TI 23
Yeah.
2345, no? 12345.
12345. Yeah, at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
Fine, sir. I will.
You can
Yeah, the
Put
number.
it in the
send me
comments.
an email and we can exchange email ideas.
No, I'll come to Coimbatore and try to meet you. That's not a problem. Thank you.
Kindly put it in the chat message, sir, on the mail ID.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll put it, Kabir.
Okay, any other questions, please?
In the meantime, anybody else has a question, may please ask. Rajan?
since nobody is asking question, I'll just like to share. We actually are a team of technocrats. I mean, I'm quite old, actually, I'm 62, but we have people with a PhD, with IIT PhD. We are looking at making products useful for people. So actually, I have not been worried so far about patent as a protection, because even if I make say 10 bioseptic tanks per day, I can make only 3,000. I can, Chennai itself has got 30 lakh houses. So I'm not really afraid of competition, but I would like to use the patent, to give like franchise to people, to others also manufacture using the patent, so that they also prosper. My idea of patent is so that others also prosper. That's what my idea. We got a DAPP license from Startup India for this product. So that is one, but we haven't had a patent. So what is your comment on this idea, sir? That you can license others to manufacture so that they also benefit. I am looking in that way, actually, more than.
I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea. The more people you can get to produce your innovative product, the better it is. So I support that idea.
In fact, the demand has been so much. I'm looking for franchise manufacturers. I'm actually telling people, why don't you also set up? I'll help you set up, and more because Prime Minister Swachh Bharat has built a lot of toilets, but what comes out of the toilet, there's still no clarity on how to treat it before it, because people are letting out indiscriminately into groundwater and a lot of contamination is happening. So we feel we'll be a complement to the Prime Minister's mission. That is what we are doing. And commercially, I mean, we are doing well also. That is actually the good side also. It's not just an idea.
Yeah, you cannot start a branch in every city, but you can franchise your ideas.
Yeah.
To implement your product in every city.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea.
Yes, sir.
And we can talk offline about
Sure, I'll
how
come.
to do that.
I'll come and meet you, sir. I'll come and meet you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Kabir, go on, Kabir.
Yes, sir. Sir, on what stage we can start manufacturing those patented products, and for actually commercial? Assume that I have filed the white papers for the patent on April of 23, and it will get examined, as you said, 4 to 6 months. Then it will take 2 to 3 years to properly get patented in my name. So 2.5 years will be go off. So do I need to wait till? Okay.
No, your protection starts from the day you file your patent. So even though file your patent today and you start your manufacturing product today, the technology used in the manufacture of the product is protected from the date of filing, not the date of grant of the patent. So it can happen in parallel simultaneously.
Great, sir. Thank you. It's fantastic news for me.
Yeah, Arun. Arun, please go on, Arun.
Yeah, this is Arun Ramaswamy, sir. I run a startup on fintech. I have also filed a process patent. And just a question, I think, on a continuation to the earlier question. Eventually, sir, I think patent is the idea, but the same idea can be risen up by many people. Eventually, I think someone will be very close to our idea. And we have filed a patent, and the patent is still in the process, not granted yet. Irrespective of whether it's being granted or not, how do we approach this? Because we are a startup, I think we are very fun crunch. Okay, is it a good idea to fight with that information, or just let them also grow and we will also grow till it gets granted? Or even after granted, how do we approach this? Because in your slides, Kodak fought with the ideas, and Apple also fought, but Kodak was a failure, Apple was a success in that sense.
So I think it depends on a case-to-case basis without understanding the full details of a case. And being a startup company, you're short of funds. So always it's a battle of what is the optimum balance you need to do, trying to get ahead of business and do it within your cost and so on. So it's a business decision to do. But I need to understand more information about your particular case to give you an advice. But my personal advice would be to go and file your patent so that your technology is protected, but same time start the manufacturing of the product, and irrespective of whether it's copied or developed by another competitor, you can fight it out later. At least you don't lose the edge of the market, and you start getting to market with your product ideas sooner. And if another company also gets there, they infringe on your copyright rights, then there's a lawsuit to be filed, and that decision can be made later. So that would be my advice. But not knowing your background, I cannot give a detailed answer.
No, sir, I think it's very useful. I think now it gives me some clarity of what approach I should take in this stage. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else has a question?
I
Anybody else?
have another presentation just meant for college management, faculty, and students on how they can increase the patent filings at the college level, what support the government of India provides for research and development, for patents, and for developing prototype, and to get seed funding and initial startup funding and so on. So any college-based lecturers or professors or head of the department, college management people, they can get in touch with me to share that presentation of how the government is supporting establishing incubation centers, establishing grant of startup seed funding and startup funding to students and departments in colleges to increase innovation and increase the number of patents. That package is also available for sharing with the audience.
In fact, I had requested, we have a skill development, we have an incubation center in Thirumalai University, sir. In fact, I had requested the people from the from the incubation center also to participate. Unfortunately, I think nobody has joined in today from the incubation center. Probably we can take it up with the university. We can see how to get them connected with you and make use of your knowledge, you know.
That'll be great. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. My pleasure.
Which you are trying to say something, Vichu?
Yeah. Sir, if you know somebody who wants to start up, we give an environment. Actually, our factory we open to IIT students for IIT Madras for their race car, rafter race car. Now we are making some. There is a team which is working on NASA rover. So we do the donkey work of their ideas. We do the manufacturing. We have technicians, we have raw material, we have material handling, crane, everything. So we help students, I mean, from VIT Chennai, who have got some prize. They said we want the first thing on the design side. Now we have to make prototypes. We are making the carbon composite wheels and frame and other things for Mars rover project. So this boy has met the CEO of Intel. He's also like that. So what I'm requesting is any of the boys who want to do something, they are most free to come and use our shop floor, our whatever knowledge we have, and whatever hands-on, manufacturing they can try. We have welders, we have all kind of things. Surprisingly, most of the this innovation center here, we also we did one project with Thirumalai University also for the incubation center. what we are surprised is most of them want to do in apps and things like that. They don't want to really dirty their hands and make prototypes. And I find most of them are sitting in desk and trying to write programs and develop apps. But I welcome people. If come across boys like that, we are ready to support. And also our future companies, one of our problem is age is against us. I'm 62, my other people are 50 plus. So youngsters in our team will be good when we present to investors, financial institutions and other things. So these boys can grow with us, and they can branch out also. We are looking at that model also. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Also want to say that IIT Madras has a lot of outreach programs where high school students and even startup companies can use the facilities of the IIT Madras incubation labs and their workshops to come and develop the products. And
yeah, that is the research park, sir. But they have something called C5, where students can work 24 hours a day. I mean, we give them materials. I mean, because for them, intending materials is a big process. So we support them with carbon fiber, with honeycomb structure, with foams, which we buy. Sometimes we process, sometimes we give it for them to process elsewhere. So we support. This is called C5. C5 is an innovative center for innovation. So they call it C5. That is what it stands. So
I'm very glad to hear that Thirumalai University is doing that.
No, I am from Annamalai, but IIT students, IIT Madras students take my help also, sir. I'm involved with the E-plane project of Professor Chakravarti, Satya Chakravarti. E-plane project, we make, I shouldn't say that, we just support. See, we don't make, we support them with whatever facility we have for making propellers and things like that. Actually, it's wrong to say we make, we process for them because we have the facility. So we have become like anybody in composites who want to develop products, we open our doors and allow them to use facilities.
Vishwanath sir, one request to you. Could you share your contact detail and where is it incubation center available to make actually the products?
So we tried incubation. We have tied up with Triple ITDM, IITDM. They have an incubation center. Annamalai University has an incubation center. AIRF. Then IIT
PhD Tech has one.
No, College of Guindy.
College of Guindy, Anna University has one.
Anna University, 96 batch. 86 batch is the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor Dr. Velraj. He is 86 batch. So we have a startup. We have a tie-up there also. We have actually an office room there. This is for thermal energy storage. Our tanks are used to store thermal energy. The chillers operate in the night when delta T is very low, and then we store chilled water to use it during peak hours. So there is a delta T advantage and a tariff advantage also. So for that, we have an office there. You are most welcome, Mr. Kabir.
You can share your contact details.
I will do, sir. I will do, sir. Please, we welcome.
Okay, can I ask one question?
Yeah, please, Mr. Bise.
Yeah, I'm Anil Bise. I was just wondering when people were talking of their age, 62 being too old. I'm 78 now, and I am working in full swing. I've been working as a mentor for 2 startups in particular. Both are material scientists and architects. The 2 innovative products that we have developed and taking up is a startup project. One is the solar heat reflective coating, where we have got a very amazing result that the total reflectivity and emissivity is almost 98.6%. And the drop of top temperature, top to top, is almost 21 degrees centigrade. The SRI value is 104. Now, this particular product we already applied for the patent and we are waiting for the results. But as I was very happy to hear that from the day we apply, we are protected. So one thing is sure. The second product that we have developed is the insulation coating with the least thermal conductivity. Somebody was mentioning about this delta T, etc. In this particular one, generally people are using, see, the rock wool or maybe glass wool or whatever it is, where the thickness of the insulation is required almost 9 inches to 1 foot. We have achieved the same thing in just 12 mm, which reduces the space considerably, and the heat absorption is very low. Particularly this we are tackling for certain westernized countries and very cold countries. Also in the areas like Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, etc. Now both the products have been applied for patent. But how do you help or guide these two startups to market these products?
Yeah, the question on marketing, I'm not a marketing professional. I don't understand the
Okay.
your industry or business. I can advise you on the innovation and the patent process, and I can share my ideas. But
Thank you,
trying
because
to
there are some
market it,
certain people who have also seem quite expert in this particular line. So maybe whosoever heard this, could we can have a dialogue with any one of them.
right?
Sir,
I can give some advice on the innovation side and patent side, but marketing side, you probably need to find other experts out there.
Fine, fine.
Sir, I am sharing my contact details and my product, everything on the chat. I'll be shortly. Sir, marketing is what we did is we keep on seeding. We keep on giving samples and getting feedback. So they become actually our marketers. People who use our product actually become our marketers. For small scale, that is the way. We can't go for big advertisement. So the more product I mean, they become part of our development. So for example, you say thermal insulation, you can, in a small way, because it can be modular. So you can say, okay, existing nitrile rubber or polyurethane foam, you try our product, and automatically when they see the delta T values, then they will increase the surface area. They themselves will increase the surface area, and the word will be out in the market. So it's not very difficult, sir, actually. I am interested in this product also because we are now, insulation is part of our cost. When we insulate our tanks, huge requirements, because see this Dr. Velraj has been working for the last 30 years in this thermal energy storage. Okay. So you can meet Dr. Velraj himself, Vice Chancellor of Anna University. He has wide contacts also in the thermal storage. He works with big people. In fact, there is a company called Plus in Delhi. Dr. Velraj helped them develop phase change material, and today they sold 70% of their equity to Murugappa for 114 crores.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Dr. Velraj only got a thanks because he's an academician.
Okay.
But I mean, so he's a person you can definitely get into. He's a vice chancellor and quite influential also. And he is well known in the thermal energy storage circle or thermal circle. He can put you, if it's really good. He can also judge. I mean, he is the best person to judge technology also.
Okay. Can you send me your email address so that we can exchange the thoughts?
I'm putting everything, sir. I'm just sharing. I'll do it. Right.
Hello.
So, Mr. Bisay, can you just share your number also, sir?
Yeah, please do that. Please do that.
Any other questions?
Anybody else has a question? You may please ask in the meantime. Huh?
Also, there's a feedback form that's been sent out. Can fill out that feedback form. That'll help us in kind of structuring our talks in a better fashion the next time around. And Gopi, can
Thank
you
you,
copy all the messages in the chat window and email
Sure,
it to
sir.
me?
Sure, sir.
I've
Sure, sir. I'll do that.
not
I'll
been
do
able
that. Sir.
to look at all the chat messages. You can
I'll
send
do
it
that.
in an email. That'll be great.
Yeah, sure. I will email it to you, sir.
So at least I have two other talks, and I don't know the audience interested. One is on Industry 4.0 automation that I'm willing to share. Another one is for the colleges, college management, college faculty, and college students on how they can get support from the government and how they can set up innovation labs, incubation centers, and get startup funding. So these two talks, if there's any interest, I'd welcome the opportunity to give a talk on those topics.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So, Mr. Bisay, can you just share your number, sir?
Yeah, 98201 84414.
98?
98201
Yes, sir.
84414.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, what I told about age, Mr. Bisay, is that I am very young at heart. The problem is the financial institutions. The financial institutions think the other way. They are worried, the continuity of the process and purpose, because who will be the next? So if you go, what I was saying to Mr. Llango was, if we go as a team of youngsters also, who, after all, the legacy we are going to give to people with the same vision, correct? So I have seen many times my friends who do 30, 40, 50 crore business, trust it on their children who are not interested in it at all. And very soon the business goes belly up. It is better to share ideas with people with similar vision so that they will carry the legacy forward. And that is the idea.
That's
So I am looking for youngsters to join, or I to join hands with youngsters, so that it's a win-win situation. That's all. I am young at heart, but the financial
remain young. That's all.
Financial institutions and investors think otherwise. They are worried about their money, whether what is the future and continuity. That's what I was trying to tell in the meeting.
Appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So anybody else has a question, you may please ask.
Have you shared Mr. Llango's contact number, Gopi?
I share it with you.
Okay.
I will share you. I will share. I'll just send it.
You can put it in the thing also, in the chat
I
box.
already posted here in the group.
Group chat box? No.
Group chat box report. I already posted. His
Oh.
email ID and his contact details I already posted.
My preference is you contact me by email first.
Yeah.
And then we can set up a
Absolutely,
call.
sir. Absolutely, sir.
Because I may be busy on so many other things.
Okay.
I'm not be able to
Sure, sir.
take your call or connect with you immediately. I would prefer contact by email first.
Anyone else has a question, you may please unmute and ask the last question. Rajan, Sanjay.
Thanks, sir.
How many
Okay.
people were on the call, Gopi, that did speak?
Around 32, 33, sir.
Girlfriend.
Yeah. I think we'll call it now, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, thank you very much for being with us on Sunday morning, sir.
It was my pleasure, and thanks
Nice having you.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share
No,
my
nice.
experience and to help people understand the importance of innovation patents. My pleasure, and I welcome the opportunity.